Diller. So just a quick check-in. We are now on chapter 22 out of 40, and it is week 6. We left off with chapter 21. Lucy, Levi, and Wendy are volunteering at the old Pizza Hut, which is now the Pet Hut. And Lucy kind of took a liking to this dog that she was calling Pie because that's her favorite number. Levi and Lucy are now friends, and Mr. Stoker, their math teacher, is interested in their project. So let's see what happens. Chapter 22. I can't explain it, but I trust that Levi will keep my secret. Unlike Wendy, he rarely talks about other people. I know I should get it over with and tell her too. She's my best friend, and she shares every detail of her life with me. Like last night, she told me about the time she peed her pants waiting in line for a roller coaster. And it wasn't a story from when she was 5. It happened last year. I'd want to forget something like that. Not admit it. The problem is, she also tells me about everyone else. From her mom, who needs to wax a mustache, to which kid repeats kindergarten. There's no controlling information once it's in Wendy's head. No vault, no lock and key, no secret combination. I'm also worried she might be hurt that I'm keeping something from her. Luckily, Wendy and I have plenty of other stuff to talk about, like the musical Wicked, her newest favorite, her birthday party, and global warming. She watched a video with a starving polar bear last weekend, and the next day she insisted on walking to school. She only made it about 3/4 of a mile, just to the next bus stop. It takes me 2 more visits to the pet hut to finish entering all the data into the computer and collecting it for my own purposes. Levi and Wendy join me on Monday. They play with dogs while I stay in the office. Wednesday, I go alone to complete my work. The numbers are fascinating. I share them with Squarehead314 and Numberlicious, but they aren't impressed. They say my sample of 242 dogs isn't large enough to make any definite conclusions, but it's not like I'm going to go to another animal shelter to collect more data. I don't visit the pet hut just for the numbers. I also like to see Pie. He still doesn't have a kennel to call his own, so I try to make his under-the-desk doghouse more comfortable. I bring him an old sweatshirt to sleep on. It's green and yellow, like the numbers 14 and 102. It's too small for me. But while I'm working on the computer, he prefers to sleep on my lap, which is gross, but adorable. I think our Cougar Cares project is going great. If it were up to me, I'd even say we've done enough. Their adoption files are all digital and up to date. We can keep visiting the pet hut to enter any new paperwork and to check on Pie. But Wendy still wants to make a difference. On Thursday night, we have a group phone call to see how we can change the world. Our revised project plan is due tomorrow. Okay, guys, what are we going to do? Wendy asks, in charge as always. We need some good ideas, like right now. Let's just have a bake sale, raise some money, and get it over with, Levi says. Do you bake? I lie back on my bed. No. Think bigger, Wendy demands. A big bake sale, Levi says. Wendy groans. I'm so glad this isn't for a grade, or I'd kick your butt out of this group. I can imagine Levi smiling at his end. He likes to get Wendy upset, and he's pretty good at it. Maybe we could have a bake sale for pets, I say. We can make homemade dog treats and grow catnip. People who love animals will come to the sale. We'll raise funds and maybe get people to adopt another pet. Will you two give up on the bake sale? Wendy says. Besides, we can't raise money. They told us that on the first day. Lucy, tell us what you've been working on, Levi says. I see you scribbling your ideas down. He doesn't say formula or equation or math. I guess he's trying to keep my secret after all. What's he talking about? Wendy's voice cracks. I can't tell whether she's hurt or mad. As I was entering the adoption information into the computers, I just noticed some interesting things. That's all. I tell her what I told Levi last weekend. Certain types of dogs take longer to get adopted. Pit bulls take 19 days to be adopted, while terriers only take 8. How did you figure that out? Wendy asks. It's not like it's hard, Levi says, covering for me. Even I can calculate an average. So what? How does this help us? Wendy says. That doesn't seem fair, I say. Maybe we could change those odds, Levi offers. My mom runs a marketing firm. People come to her to get more business or get more attention. Like she helps new restaurants get reviews and sends out coupons. The unpopular dogs need a publicist. I get the feeling that the idea didn't just pop into Levi's head. So, what do you suggest? Wendy asks. The Pet Hut website is beyond pathetic, Levi says. You want to redesign their website? Wendy asks. I can imagine her lip curled in disgust. I want to get dogs adopted, Levi adds. I log on to my computer and go to the Pet Hut website. It has the basic information about adoption fees and the shelter's hours. There are a few pictures and a very out-of-date blog. The last post was 67 days ago. It's a success story about a poodle mix that was adopted and lives with a family. I click around some more. The site doesn't have any posts about animals waiting to be adopted. Lucy, Lucy, Wendy yells. Are you there? I'm here. Lucy, how long does it usually take a dog to get adopted? Levi asks. The average wait time for all dogs is 12 days, not counting puppies. So, the goal is to lower that number, and we do that by focusing on the dogs that take a super long time to get adopted, Wendy says. We'll put them on the website. We can write feature articles on them. We've done feature articles in language arts class. We had to write about a famous dead author. I'm not writing anything, Levi says, but I'll take the pictures. That's a good idea, and I'll figure out which dogs need our help the most. I don't write either. This is awesome, guys. We're going to save thousands of puppies. No puppies. They don't need help finding homes. According to my math, dogs under 6 months old are adopted within 3 days. Fine, Wendy says. We're going to save thousands of dogs. Or 10, I say, trying to keep Wendy from expecting too much. Chapter 23. Some teachers can't be trusted. I thought Miss Fleming and I had an understanding. For 4 weeks, she's been giving me the class readings to look over ahead of time. 3 short stories and our first assigned novel, The Call of the Wild. She thinks I'm pre-reading the stuff, but all I really need to do is count the words. Then, when she calls on me in class, I have no problem reading aloud. Today she breaks that fragile trust we've built, and I know it's no accident. She asks Maddie and Jennifer to hand out the anthologies. I haven't counted any words in this book yet. When you get your book, turn to page 97, Miss Fleming says to the whole class, but her eyes are focused on me. I don't have my book yet. I need to start counting. My face grows hot as I wait. Maddie finally gets to me. She coughs on the cover before dropping the book onto my desk. I use the sleeve of my sweatshirt to open it. The text is dense. It's the abridged version of the Odyssey. Lucy, why don't you start? I haven't even tallied a single word yet. I can't. My throat. I rub my neck. Just give it a try. She looks down at the podium, where her book sits. What kind of school teacher needs a podium? No. No, she asks. No, I say. She does that thing where she takes off her glasses and puts one of the end pieces to her lips. I close my book and cross my arms over my stomach. I'm not acting. I might throw up. I'll read, Wendy offers, like she did the first week of school. No, Wendy, I told Lucy to read. Miss Fleming steps in front of her podium. Read the first page, Lucy. You can do this. You've been working really hard. I can't. My eyes are cloudy. Now, Miss Callahan. Leave her alone, Wendy says. Look at her. She's sick, or about to be. You are both dangerously close. She holds her fingers about half inch, maybe 3/4 inch apart. But I'm not sure what she's measuring. Wendy mutters something and shakes her head. Lucy Callahan, this is the last time I'm asking, Miss Fleming says. You aren't really asking, someone interrupts. It's not Wendy this time. It's Levi. You're demanding. She doesn't want to read. Leave her alone. He's slumped in his chair, and it looks like he's talking to the textbook. You're being a bully, Wendy adds. And that's all it takes for Miss Fleming to finally snap. Get out of my classroom! Levi gets up first and grabs his bag. I follow him, slipping the anthology under my binder. I'm taking it home to count the words later. Wendy is sickly pale and frozen in her seat. I'm sorry. Go! Miss Fleming squeezes her glasses. They bend, but don't break. Come on, Wendy. Take one for the team. Levi holds the door open for us. When I get in the hall, I tap my toe 3 times. Wendy's right behind us. Her eyes are wet. You didn't have to do that, I say, and hand her a wrapped Clorox wipe because I don't carry tissues. I know. She sniffs hard and wipes her eyes on her sleeve. What do we do now? I ask. I don't know. I've never been in trouble, Wendy says, and more tears drop. I guess we should go to the main office, Levi shrugs. We tell the secretary we've been kicked out of Miss Fleming's language arts class for not reading aloud. She tells us to take a seat. We wait the rest of the period for Dr. Cobb, but it turns out he doesn't have time for us. When the bell rings, we're sent on to 4th period. The rest of the day continues without incident, but I notice that Wendy keeps looking at the door like she expects security forces to come busting through. Even on the bus ride home, she's still worried that her perfect record is tarnished. Thanks for, I tell her as she gets off. Wendy nods. It's obvious she regrets the stand she took for me. Maybe there's a way I can make it up to her. But Twizzlers and gummy bears don't seem like enough of a gesture. When I get home, Nana is waiting on the couch, and the TV isn't on. Maybe the school called and told her that I got kicked out of language arts class. Hey, is everything okay? I ask as I help myself to hand sanitizer. Lucy, I've got some good news. I drop my backpack and sit on the living room chair. What? I was waiting on a family this morning, and the credit card machine was taking its sweet old time. The son, he looked to be 16, wore a sweatshirt that said NCASME, and it had some math symbols on it and a microscope. I asked him what it stood for. She pauses like I should fill in this part of her story. North Carolina Academy of Science, Math, and Engineering, she says. It's a special high school for juniors and seniors. They do all subjects, but the focus is math, and it's free because it's a public school. The students live in dorms and have meals in the cafeteria. It's all free. That's cool, I say. And the boy, his name is Paul. Paul! This is a sign, Lucy. It is? Just because this stranger shares a name with my uncle and goes to a math school, that doesn't really feel like a major sign. Maybe if his name was Lucy. She ignored me. And Paul said there is a girl at the school who is only 13. Isn't that amazing? I nod. Is her name Lucy? I have no clue. Nana throws up her hands. Because that would be more of a sign, Nana. Stop being silly. This school is perfect. You can be around other smart kids. It's not college, and it's not middle school. I've called the admissions office to see how we can get you in. Where is it? I ask. Near Charlotte. Charlotte's almost 2 hours away. Nana tilts her head. She reminds me of Pi. I thought you'd be more excited. I even got Paul's email and phone number, so you can ask him questions. You're made for this school, Lucy. Okay. What's wrong? Nothing. Nana claps her hands once and stands up. I'm going to call the admissions office again. It's weird. Miss Fleming's class today was the first time I felt like I belonged at East Hamlin, and it wasn't because of Miss Fleming, that's for sure. Wendy and Levi made the difference. No one has ever helped me out like that before. I've never helped anyone else like that. It's different from assisting with math homework online. They could have gotten in real trouble. They still might. The next day, we returned to Miss Fleming's class. There's no mention of our revolt. No apologies from us or from her. It's like everyone is trying to forget it happened. Except I know Miss Fleming hasn't forgotten because she doesn't ask me to read a single word. I guess I wasted 2 hours last night counting every word in that stupid anthology book. Looks like we got away with it, Levi whispers. I hope so, Wendy says. I smile, but say nothing. I'm not sure how all this works. Do I thank them? Do I owe them? Words and favors don't seem like enough. They saved me in more ways than one.